Good evening, viewers and subscribers across the globe. This is BVI Channel 1, and we are live on Political Review. Tonight, we are going to be looking at the election declaration, the press statement by the Labour Party vice presidential candidate, Datti, and the Obedient Movement, who is also seated with us here. The leaders of the Obedient Movement is also on the studio to analyze the situation of things and what is to come and what the obedience across the globe should be looking out for. So on our stories tonight, we are going to quickly take the first review of that declaration of Tinubu as the president-elect. His reaction is really a joke. I want you to take a look at this. I'll be right back shortly.
Tinubu Bola Ahmed of the APC, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected. Thank you.
Without your dedication, I will not standing before you as governor. I will not standing before you as governor. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. The ship did not sink or waver. We anchor well on the president-elect Bola Ahmed.
That is it. You can hear the joke of the century. The man is not giving up on his endless stunt. You know, the man is living in the past. I'm talking about the so-called announced president-elect, still seeing himself as the governor of Lagos State. It's unfortunate, but let us take quickly the reaction of Datti, the vice presidential candidate of Labour Party in this just concluded election that was stolen. I want you to listen to him attentively. I'll be right back.
Nigerians must, just like we're continuing the struggle, Nigerians must continue the struggle by exercising their rights.
Yes, Kingsley Daily Defendant. Many Nigerians believe, of course they have valid reasons to believe so, that the judiciary has been compromised like other arms of government. How much confidence do you have that if your matter, if your case gets to the Supreme Court, you will get justice in return?
Irrespective of the low level of confidence you have in any system, your responsibility is your responsibility. Nigerians contested the 2023 presidential elections through Peter Obi and my humble self. We are going to keep the struggle alive, irrespective of the very low confidence we have in any system. We had extremely low confidence in the promise of the government that there will be free and fair elections, yet we went ahead. We went ahead into the elections. So it doesn't matter how low the confidence it is in the judiciary, the law is the law. And what's even, look, there's a confidence we have in them, and there is the confidence we have in ourselves and in our case. These are two different things. The confidence we have in ourselves and in our case is that elections, so to say, were not held. Because from the polling units, the Electoral Act 2002 as amended provided the direct transmission of results. It is that direct transmission of results that says elections were held. They were not transmitted. What results are you giving? If there are no results, what election are you talking about? Now, going to the registration areas or ward collection units, no INEC returning officer, he or she, shall make entries without making reference to the existing ongoing concurrent IREV, active IREV, which did not exist. How did they collate? If there was no valid collation, what results are you talking about? If there are no results, what election are you talking about? Illegality has been performed. And as far as we're concerned, here is an incoming government for the Federal Republic of Nigeria that is illegal and unconstitutional. As far as we're concerned, it is now for we're submitting our case to the court of law. It is for them, irrespective of how much confidence the world or Africa or Nigerians have in them, irrespective, it is for them to show again that level of confidence.
Okay, any more?
Yes,
please. Let to somebody else.
All right. Against when you rejected this, when you rejected the outcome of this protest against this result.
Did you listen to my posing this question yet over again? If I may read it again, just for the records, which we will submit to you. While he's opening it, no amount of questioning will ever get Peter Obi or myself or any agent of the Labour Party or Obedient whatsoever to ever preach anything besides peace and tranquility in Nigeria. We also ask Nigerians to continue to exercise their civic duties like we just did now with the upcoming elections. I have said that democracy belongs to the people who can practice it. Nigerians should continue to make efforts to practice democracy. The only language we know is peace. That's the only language. If Nigerians are going to achieve peace through peaceful protests, welcome.
Okay. Any more?
State of mind is he right now?
He is better than one could ever imagine. He is cheerful, he is hearty, he is healthy, he is strong, and what is more, he and I are even believing more and more in Nigeria and the Nigerian people. Here we are. Our movement is less than 8 months old. And we won elections in the Federal Republic of Nigeria where they've had an 8-year concurrent government. As far as we are concerned, we won this. They refused to upload results. They refused to refer to IREV just for them to defeat us. It took a serving government, illegality and constitutional breach to defeat Peter Obi and my humble self. I tell you, we're winners. Nigerian people are winners. Nigerian people are winners. And Nigerian nation is waiting for a day that Peter Obi and myself will, through the rigors of illegality and unconstitutionality, get to power somehow one day.
Okay, I wanted to. There was disagreement. Finally, the Senate President transmission that what they passed was not exactly to transmit from the polling units. That what they passed was to be done manually. I don't know whether he was redefining it.
Can I plead not to, the gentleman you're referring to, the Senate President, even though I'm a I was a former senator, and believe in our integrity, this gentleman, as far as we're concerned, he contested presidency, and then now is an elected senator, returned by the Supreme Court, and you cannot contest two offices as far in the same election. You cannot. It is on record he contested presidency. Supreme Court now says he's senatorial candidate, and then he sits as Senate President to give us this kind of opinion. It is very, very difficult for me to say this, but I will have to say it. Such an irresponsible person must never be listened to. We went into the elections as Labour Party. We won the election as Labour Party. We are going to claim our mandate as Labour Party, and we shall rescue Nigeria as Labour Party.
What a press statement from the vice presidential candidate of Labour Party. And just very quickly, let us bring you the protest that followed after this charade of announcement of presidential election result by INEC. And the man on the front line is already seated with me on the studio virtually. But let us quickly go to the streets and pick this very protest, the voice of the people out there on the street. I'll be right back shortly, and we'll bring in our guest tonight.
The giver, INEC German must be fired. Yes. INEC German must be fired. Yes. INEC use the beavers, the beavers. INEC use the beavers, the beavers. INEC use the beavers, the beavers. INEC use. Our vote for Moscato, Moscato. Our vote Moscato, Moscato. Our vote. That's it. Our vote Moscato, Moscato. Our vote.
But as we go in this very spot, should our message not be adhered to, behind us is where the fraudulent collation is taking place. This is the National Fraudulent Collation Center, where we have Professor Mahmoud Yakub and all the other people. Tomorrow, we are calling on the old, the young, the obedient movement across Nigeria to occupy every INEC office. And in this place, we are going to be here by 9 a.m. in the morning. What they haven't seen before, much more than the 1 million march, they are going to see it here tomorrow. Yes. Should they not heed to this call, we are calling on everybody to be here by 9 a.m. tomorrow. And the will of the people will be seen in their character. Yes. This is what we are saying. And we're going to continue to be here until this coalition is suspended.
Our anger is the result. We demand an IREF result, electronically transmitted results. The one Mohammed promised us that let us troop out to the polls and cast our vote. He said, from the polls to the wards to the area council, to the state. So that's what we demand. What we are getting is not what he's promised. And we're not ready to compromise this election. We will not take no for an answer. We will not take rigging for an answer. We need original results. We need original results. We need results from the polls. That's the only thing that will take us away from the road. Sir, we will speak in the language of mothers. I told them, I said, it doesn't cost us anything. We'll tear this the same way. We'll go naked, enter the labor room and get back to Mahmoud Mohammed the same way. All these women you are looking at here will go naked on this road. It will happen today. They will come and answer us.
That is it, my people. We are going to be bringing in our guests who had been sitting with us on this program. And don't forget, this is a live interactive section. We are bringing in our guest any moment from now, who is already seated with me and joining us virtually from Abuja. The man on the front of the line, at the front of the line, since the obedient movement commenced. It's a pleasure to have him, and I hope every one of you who wants to make your submission will be able to make your submission on this live interactive section by calling 08104545533. You can call direct line or you can call through WhatsApp. Let me not waste further of your time. Let me bring on our guest, the doctor himself, Madmon, coming in from Abuja. Hello, Dr. Comrade. It's a pleasure to have you on our political review today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here as always.
All right. So far, so good. Comrade, so far, so good. Tell us, what has it been, the experience from the day one of the obedient movement till now? What is your experience and your word for not just the obedient, but the Nigerian people and the global community?
Well, it's been a journey of grace. It's been a journey of hope. It's been a journey of a movement, a build-up, a heightened crescendo of what a few of us have been doing for many years right now, but seeing a fruition of the good governance project, if I may call it that we have always, stood for, fought for, to ensure that we have credibility, we have essence in our governance and politics and the structure of government, that we've always fought at every level to see it come to a place where people who are, in quote, our tribe, who understands the vision of leadership, are beginning to take interest in politics, because up until the obedient movement, there are a lot of people who have been sitting on the fence, anytime you talk about governance and politics, because they believe that these things are made for a particular class and set of people. And so in the last 8 months thereabout, it's been a roller coaster of a journey where you're talking to people of like minds, and it's also a healing process, also a process of rejuvenation, and also a process of what I call the woke young community, a raise in consciousness towards the Nigerian state in terms of our governance. And so it has been so interesting. It has been energy sapping, money draining, but a fulfillment that you cannot, that is comparable to none in the history of our political journey in Nigeria. Maybe since independence, maybe at the foundation of the rebirth of Nigeria, I don't think we've ever seen a movement like this where people from all walks of life, just like, Obafemi Awolowo, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Tafawa Balewa, and Sa'amadu Bello, these people were total strangers, but they came together to ensure that they fought the white man and delivered for us a country that we can call our own. We have seen people from Sokoto to Maiduguri to Kano, Kaduna, Katsina. We've seen people across Abuja, Kogi, Kwara, Ibadan, Oshun, all over the place, Lagos, Delta. We've come together through the ideology, the shared ideology of competence, character, the consistency of the values that can hold for us a greater nation, a stronger nation, a better nation that is led by a shared leadership and driven by the energy of the young people, who are so resolute and resilient, to see that our nation is rid of corruption, of greed, of banditry, of all the things that have brought shame, have degraded our nation in the international community and at home, with our people joining Yahoo who have become, easy praise and targets and recruits for terrorism, as we have it in corruption, to see people who are bounded beyond religion, ethnicity, and region coming together to say we need a nation that is of black origin, the strongest and the biggest nation on planet Earth that has produced some of the most amazing human beings on this planet, who have excelled home and abroad. That accumulation of energy, of essence, there is nothing more that one can say that can beat this. It's a blessing to be alive in this timeline of history. And so for us, the obedience across board, these are the things that connect us. This is the blood and water and sweat and vigor that connect us. This is our essence. This is our life. With Nigeria that is unified along, the value system of our essence. So it's been everything, to say the least. It's been everything. Brotherhood we've been through it all. We've journeyed through different states, connected with people, shared love, joy, and the little we have. So it's been exciting. There is nothing more exciting than this journey, in this community and in this family called the Obedience. It's been so exciting.
Wonderful, wonderful. Honestly speaking, you can say that again and again. And the Nigerian politicians, the usual Nigerian politicians, the politicians that had made the lives of the people miserable, have really gotten much more than they ever bargained for. They never saw it coming. And the ballot revolution that they thought is impossible became possible. And from your assessment of this election, can you say with your full chest out that obedience actually won this election? I'm not talking about Bitobi, I'm talking about the obedient Nigerians who came out in their numbers to cast their vote. Do you think they won this election?
You can see that I'm already so smiling as you're talking about the obedience. This is the greatest thing that has happened in our nation's history. Honestly, I can say this like a broken record, because obedience didn't just show that they are tech savvy, that they are on the Facebook, they are on Instagram, they are on Twitter. They've occupied every social network and space. They've also shown character. They've shown essence. They've shown that they are not just social media people. They've gone ahead to ensure that they collect their PVCs. They've gone ahead to ensure that they march from street to street, from state to state, from local government to local government, from word to word, from polling booth to polling booth. They've stood through rain and through shine, and they've connected the nation. They've unified the nation.
along these value systems. And yes, obedience did deliver, because even the blind can see that obedience delivered. From Lagos to Sokoto to Katsina to everywhere, they delivered. The votes are there. They're on every space. So yes, obedience showed clearly that yes, there's a new sheriff in town. That's what obedience have shown. They've shown that they can do this. And yes, they did it. They made a difference. They got on the street. They put it together, home and abroad. They supported themselves. And yes, they delivered for themselves a new country. So it is Uhuru, because obedience truly have won. They won in character. They won in comportment. They won at the polls. They won in the way they held themselves. They didn't go snatching ballot boxes. They didn't go shunting, and they didn't do any of that. Obedience were cordial. They showed a high sense of patriotism. They showed a high sense of leadership. Even when people were being sold out, obedience stood still. You need to see the videos. In the rain, obedience were dancing. There is nothing like this. It was almost like the day of independence. Obedience stood still in rain, in hunger, in poverty, in the pain. They stood still and delivered a new country. But because guess what? Like you rightly said, it's beyond Peter Obi. It's about Peter Obi, but it's beyond Peter Obi. Nigerians have shown strength and vigor, and they've shown that they can do it, and they did it.
Yeah, they showed that they can do it, and they did it. Honestly speaking, this is what the political class never bargained for. We are still live and direct with Madmon, the doctor himself, the doctor for good governance. He's a comrade. We've been on the trenches together for God knows how long. And I can tell you, from our Mumu Don't Do to Nawibi government, and now the obedient movement that will ultimately retire corrupt system from the entire political corridors of power. Honestly speaking, Madmon, looking at the election result, it was being announced by INEC, just like you said, and I've already made that statement in the past, that obedience, you are winning at the polls up until they decided to rewrite the result. And APC, the Tinubu factor, started playing out, and they started winning at the doctored results by INEC. Now, as it is today, Dr. Moore, do you see possibility of the obedience reclaiming their mandate? Because from the look of things, Datti and P2B are not backing down. The Nigerian people are not backing down. Although it seems everywhere is silent, people are mourning. It is expected, because when your valuable is stolen away from you, you don't go about celebrating. That is the mood in Nigeria today. It is just like where Nigeria lost a World Cup they have never qualified for. And today, the World Cup final, actually. And today, the obedience have exhibited courage in the faces of adversaries, intimidation, political thuggery, and death. They stood still. That woman that got attacked and her eyes almost gushed out, yet she came back, cast her vote with her full chest out. Do you think that with the political system in this country, Madmon, that this stolen mandate could be recovered? Because I know very well the people have lost confidence in the electoral process, and just like what just happened, they will tell you, go to court. When a thief is bold enough to tell you, go to court, that means na him papa or him mama or him brother go sit on top that case for court. In the civilized world, people are afraid to go to court. But here, it is the other way around. What is your take, comrade? What is your take on this about recovering back the stolen mandate?
You know why I'm smiling, I'm laughing? It is because, first of all, it's a beautiful thing to see that the nation is gloomy. The nation is black. It's dark at the moment. Even other political parties and the people from even the ruling party herself, majority of them are not happy. They're not happy because when thief, even your neighbors and people even your enemies will not be happy, you know. And so that is what we are seeing today in our nation, where everywhere is just gloomy. But guess what? Like you rightly said, our mandate will be reclaimed. But how will it be reclaimed? This is what we also need to analyze. Yes, it might not be reclaimed at the court, and I don't want people to be naive, you know, and ignorant, because the presidency of Nigeria is not Anambra State, it's not Kano State, it's not Lagos State. Because when you are a governor of a state, you can go, the Supreme Court is above the state. There is a state judiciary court system, but you also have the Supreme Court. You have the federal courts, which of course are beyond the state, you know. But the president of any nation supersedes, especially where we have very weak institutions like Nigeria. You know, this is why we saw police people collaborating with some of the criminal INEC staffs and also COP members too, to perpetrate the evil that we saw, you know. And what I can say to obedience is that in the same way we have entered the political system, we will also ensure that we enter INEC. We will also ensure that we enter police. We will also ensure that we enter every system, because the police you see, the INEC staff you see, the COP members you see, they all came from family. You know, they are all a product of family. And so the same way we've had very corrupt politicians, and we still do, but we're entering into the political system. We will not relegate any system that will add up and make up, that will allow us to claim our victory. Because as it is, like you rightly said, they say that with their full chest, because they know that the same way they bought the votes, the same way they bought INEC, that's the same way they are going to what? Buy the judiciary system. And so there is need for strengthening of these institutions. And this is where the obedient family comes in. But as long as our mandate is concerned, people don't know that if you have 1 million people come out to march, that will trigger something that will lead to something that can ensure that we get our mandate. But that is at one end. Whatever we do, in the next 4 years, we can still reclaim our mandate. So head or tail, there are different ways through which our mandate can be recovered. And who knows, we can have a judge and a system that can be what? Can be so obediently to the and useful to the point of rejecting whatever amount that will be given to them. In which case, we can reclaim our mandate even through the court with the evidence that are available. So there are various ways of reclaiming it. But guess what? Head or tail, we are going to reclaim our mandate, because it's our mandate. You know, like they say, you can rape somebody, but you cannot force love out of the person. So yes, you can steal our mandate, but you are not still our leader. So yes, our mandate can be fully recovered.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Dr. Moore there is with us live and direct, and we are on Political Review, looking at the 2023 general election, what transpired, the charade of the result that was announced, and what next. Peter Obi is not the first time his mandate was stolen. Doctor, this is not the first time his mandate was stolen. And he went to court for God knows how long. The whole thing continued for about nearly 3.5 years. He was in court, and he reclaimed that mandate when no one expected it, when everyone had given up. And even when he was sworn in, he was taken out and he came back again as the first impeached governor. So this one that happened, anyone that knows the history very well about the man, Peter Obi, we know that he is soft-spoken, but very strong, like a rock in his determination to fight on, to ensure that the will of the people is sustained. And on this obedient movement, we have seen his character, his principle, and even the vice presidential candidate, Datti have demonstrated courage and has stood firm, and he is on the same page with the principal, Peter Obi, that this mandate must be reclaimed. If you want to join this conversation, you can join through by calling 0810-4545-533. Drop your comments on the comment section. We're going to read that in a moment. And also, you can call direct line or WhatsApp line. We'll take your calls briefly, then we'll be wrapping it up on this section. But before then, back to Doctor. Doctor, what could be the way forward? People are losing patience. People cannot even imagine a day of Tinubu being president of this country for one day. People are losing patience. I've heard so many people saying they jagba. Their alternative is to disappear from this country before it becomes too late, before this country collapses on every one of us. So what do you think the way forward should be? I heard you mention that if the obedience in their mass, in their millions, occupy every state and ensure, just like we have witnessed in different countries where the people arose, because the people is the sovereignty of a nation. The people, their will is the supremacy of the law of the land. And when they rise, the needful will be done. Do you see obedient movement coming up to turn around this whole thing? People have feared, whoa, would it turn out to be like another EndSARS? Will it turn out to be another June 12th? People are just wondering and concerned about this. So, comrade, can you say that occupying the streets would actually bring back the mandate, the stolen mandate of the people? So while we wait you to take on this, let us quickly go to our comment section and take some of your commentaries that have come in already on the program. We'll take your commentaries very briefly, and we expect comrade to join us back any moment from now. And you can use this opportunity to make your calls, drop your comments. We are taking them all one after the other. So we have Mola Waters asking, where is my Obi? Jane Chris, we are ready for them. And let me bring in Doctor so that he will be part of this. He can be listening to some of the commentaries that the people have dropped so far on this program. So while we wait for him to come in through the line, Doctor, you're welcome back again. While we bring you on, let us quickly take a look at some of the commentaries that have come in so far. Let us take a look at some commentaries that are coming so far. I think network issue is really frustrating. But Doctor, somebody is saying that, Jane Chris is saying that we are ready for them. And Obi is the mandate. That is from Jane Chris. And we are just going to breeze through some of the relevant comments. And we'll just quickly, we've seen people who are giving up. Government know the help matter. That is from Nolly Boy. In life, no limit say that we've got international eyes on us. We need to use this opportunity to let the world know that we have been robbed and we will not put up with it. So that's part of the comments that are coming in. Madmon, you're hearing some of the comments that I'm reading out. He said they should call for interim government. Some of them are saying that that is coming from Chukwuemeka Nwachukwu. Would that be the solution? Benjamin Chidebele said, I am not moved because I know that we are retrieving out our mandate. Actually, that's what he wants to write. We are retrieving our mandate, and this movement is divine. That is coming from Benjamin. And Justice is saying Mahmoud Yakubu must not just resign. Mahmoud Mohammed must not just resign, but should face the law and tried for treason. People are not happy, really. Lady Ignimi said, when you are afraid of your enemies, the enemies rejoice that they have surrendered. A lion and an eagle never surrenders. No matter the storm and turbulent, the world is angry. Wow. That is coming from Lady Ignimi. So we have Elvis. He said, the mandate was stolen by the elders that don't want the keys to grow, but God will fight for us through our strength. Al-Ani said, he who laughs last laughs the best. We should not panic and give them the reason to use army. Let's act wisely and steadfastly and get back our mandate. These are some of the commentaries coming from the viewers who are following this program. What can you make of it? Are you encouraged by it? Or are you disappointed by some of these comments?
All the comments are beautiful and all the comments are right. Because you see, they are all expressions of energies, which are what the obedient movement and family is about. It's an evolution. You know, we're moving and evolving each day and also studying its nature and how it is. Because when you are in a nation like Nigeria that is forming, you know, few holy pass, everything take join. All the things that people are saying, it's all right until we get it, we don't get it. So I am more encouraged that people will participate. It's even good that you can see that people are expressing their pain, their intelligence, their anger, their expression. All of those things are tools that are required to be able to measure where we are as a people, as obedient, and where we are going. So it's so beautiful. And for those who want to japa, and when you japa, you'll be the one sending money for us as we continue. So you see, everything still makes sense, you know, because at the end of the day, it's important. It's a movement. So it doesn't just stop here, you know. So every of the comments are very important, and we need more people to get involved with this, because it is with this mass movement of critical stakeholders who have taken ownership of the Nigerian system. That's the only way we can change the system. That is the only way we can continue, you know, to push the envelope on the frontiers and help to be able to finally snatch, you know, the governance structure from the hands of these cabals who have continued to perpetrate evil, you know, all year out since the inception of this country. Because at the end of the day, obedience, Nigerians, lovers of democracy, you need to understand that there will never be, the old order will not just come and go without a fight. They will fight. And yes, power will never be given. You have to fight for it. You have to go for it. And what we're doing is going for it, because it's hydra-headed. We are going for it at the polls. We are going for it creatively. We are going for it intelligently. We are going for it spiritually. There is no one way to the answer. We have to attack this hydra-headed demon that has held our country down. you know, and you have to do it loving the country. You can't do it hating the country. You can't do it running away from the country. Yes, we are angry. Yes, we are expressing a deep sense of sadness. We're expressing the sad. Do you know why we're expressing the sadness? Because, you know, Nigeria is a place where there's a phrase that is always used for Nigeria, that it is a place where the worst never happens and the best never happens. And so it's like Nigeria is in a limbo, you know, but it's important we cut out from that limbo. And to be able to do that, one thing that must be seen in us is the ability to be able to what? Persevere. It is called staying consistency. It's a power. It's staying power. So what we have done is not time to run away from it. It's time to speak to the narrative of that discipline and that resolve. That's how we can reclaim our mandate. Sticking to it, come what may. For those who want to join the rallies, by tomorrow 8 a.m. we're on the street in Abuja. You can join us. For those who are going to court and putting coalition together, they are putting it together. They are going to go to court. For those who are going to challenge and help the international community to be activated, they will also get involved. For those who have to appeal, who know how to negotiate and know how to talk to the consciousness of people, you know, regarding what's going on, we will get involved. For those who can pray, you will pray, because the building of a nation will come with sweat and guts. So we have done so well, but we need to do what? We need to persevere and be consistent in what we have done without hating, while loving. That's how we're going to change the country. That's how we're going to reclaim our mandate. And that's how we're going to move our country forward.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Doctor, thank you very much. Then quickly, before we wrap it up, let us quickly bring in our team of analysts who are already seated by the phone lines. Ndubisi, I can see you here. Just make a quick comment on what we've discussed so far. Then we'll bring in the next person who will introduce himself and make a quick commentary before we wrap it up. We still have in the house Dr. Madmon, who had done justice to what we are saying tonight, the way forward to reclaim the stolen mandate of the people. It is a task that must be done. I am happy to be part of this obedient movement, and together we can. Ndubisi, quickly, your highlight, your reaction to what has happened so far and to what we're discussing tonight. Ndubisi, go on.
Yeah, good evening to our viewers all over the world. And greetings to you, Dr. Madmon. You know, to me, it's congratulations to all obedient families, including GTM, supporters group. This is a new beginning. But I have a message. We have to be organized. And to our friends, our comrades at the forefront of the struggle, I have to encourage them to do more of strategy, because war is no longer won on the street, but on strategic thinking. You know, because historically, from the Civil War to the first military coup by Kaduna and Zogu, the Mangrove, to Gideon Oka 1990 coup, to even NSAS, in one war or the other, it is the strategy that failed us. Those guys, they have good intention. But at the end of the day, it's the execution of the plan, if any, that has made them not to achieve the desired goal. So in the present circumstances, you know, I know that the institutions are very weak. People are hungry, people are poor, you know, emotion is high. But under this situation, I know for us to succeed, we have to do more of planning, strategy, execution with precision, there shouldn't be any mistake at this point. The so-called political enemies or those people in charge of our natural resources, oil, money, our government institutions, they have a lot of resources and they control institutions. And they can hire the best brain to counter any of our strategy. The only thing we have is the people. The power of the people, is the highest power anybody can control. And thank God, obedience to Itobi have gotten people's support, has gotten people's love. So we move. So my advice is that those who are at the forefront should always be careful in every move, in every decision that's taken. And finally, I want to ask Madmon. Obedient movement, we don't know who are the drivers, we don't know the organogram, we don't know the state coordinators. I think to him, I want to put this question. This is about the time we should start organizing and identifying like-minded characters. Because it's not enough Labour Party winning. Labour Party, so many people that won this election are opportunists. They are the old politicians. They will end up doing things like PDP and APC. They will not defend people's rights. 90% of people that won under Labour Party are a bunch of opportunists. I'm saying it. All these our street suffering, we will suffer and hand over to another person that will go there without representing the interest of the masses. So to Madmon, what is their efforts to organize and identify the right people to go into political office? Thank you.
All right, Doctor, you heard him very well. Can you react to that very quickly?
Yeah, it's a beautiful, and your advice to the obedient movement is also very apt, because until we can move from agitation, we cannot advocate. We cannot go into advocacy. The obedient movement is an advocacy group. It's a pressure group, but much more than that, it has to be able to mobilize. The NSAS movement was just an agitation with maybe broken leadership, as we will have it, in terms of sectional, or what we call the snowball, activity, agitation without a specified leadership or form. And it's beautiful because it came in to be able to achieve what it needed to achieve. It needed to be kept at that fluid structural form, which is beautiful. But for the obedient movement, it is very important to move in the gradation from agitation to advocacy to mobilization to organization, and then we can call to action, because at the point of organization, this is where we can dovetail with whichever party we decide to work with the Labour Party, with the civil society, with all kinds of people. Because at the end of the day, there are some obedients that we only need their energy on the street. They don't have the capacity to be able to engage even in politics or in leadership. And so, yes, while I will agree that some took the advantage of the movement and are getting into political offices, because again, political offices is not something that you should just take advantage of the masses. It is something you should be prepared for. Peter Obi is a very prepared person for this election. You can see that there's a consistency of structure around him in terms of his characterization as a person. He's formed through the years and has come to the place where people can submit to him. He's very thick in his skin as concerning the resoluteness of certain principles, which is very important. It doesn't come by fluke. It comes by preparation. So it is important for the obedient family and movement to begin to snowball into organization, because we are not organized, and I agree with you. At best, we are still agitating and advocating. We haven't even truly mobilized well. So this is a point to begin to organize ourselves, because once we are organized, we can always call to action. Call to action is always the last point. But before you can call to action, you must be organized. If we were organized, for example, some of the polling booth agents and all of that would have been pulled straight from the obedient movement, because every polling booth in Nigeria has obedient movement. Organization will allow the Labour Party with the obedient movement and other structures to be able to come together and fit in, just like the bottle and its cap. That is what we haven't done yet. But I can assure you, we're in the process of developing that template that will allow that to be done, because the obedient movement has a structure everywhere and the people are available. It's just that organization of, coming together, and we're already working on it.
All right, that's very good. Let us quickly take this call from Honorable Onyebuchi Okpara Ojemba. Hello, good evening, sir, for coming in on the program. Honorable.
Thank you, comrade. Thank you so much.
Comrade, you're reaching us from the United States.
Exactly, so I'm reaching from Staten Island, New York.
All right, now what's your take on what we've discussed so far?
Yes, first and foremost, I have to thank Dr. Madmon. He really made points, and all the analysis he made were what we want. He was hitting the point, because people like him is the people we need into government to shape the country. I thank him so much for saying the way things are. And secondly, I will thank you, comrade, for giving me this opportunity to speak a little. Let me just pick some points from the last speaker that just spoke. Actually, we are not, the obedience are not yet organized. So they need to form a formidable force so that this country will come back to what it's supposed to be. In terms of the coming election, let me put that straight. The 11th of March this month, the governorship and the state House of Assembly elections coming up. I'm trying to ask the doctor what he thinks about some intimidations which some of the non-indigenous were witnessing in some part of the country, especially Lagos. Don't you think that the intimidation is a kind of to weaken the opposition, to put fear into the non-indigenous that made up the number of the population in Lagos, just so they will not come out to vote, because they really came out massively to vote for the interest of the common man. I want him to tell us what he thinks about the intimidation. And secondly, finally, I'm trying to advise our people out there, the non-indigenous and indigenous, to make sure that they vote Labour Party into all the governorship elections coming up, because this is the way that will now have the structure they say that we don't have.
Exactly.
That we are just four people tweeting in a room. So if they can, I don't know how they were going to start making the campaign so people will stand on this, because if they use this momentum, Doctor, I bet you in the next coming election, the Labour Party will be the only party to contend with. Because just imagine 8 months, he just broke the jinx. And I believe, I have to tell you this, if Governor Wike knew that the Labour Party can move this far, because to be honest with you, if they win Rivers State, there's no way the Labour Party won't be in power, But due to the situation he did, or he bargained, that's why he smuggled and did all the abracadabra in Rivers, which I thank God that the vice presidential candidate, Senator Datti, just made a press release early morning today that it's going to be contentious in court, which is the best way. We are not a violent people. You can see, as Dr. Mama really said, Labour Party is peaceful. They were pushed to the wall. They did everything, but we never reacted. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that very commentary. And I agree with you completely when you talked about the governorship election, why it is so important. Doctor, some people are already disappointed They are not interested in the upcoming election. They said, since this happened, they are not going to go out and vote. I knew how many people I spoke to today, telling them the importance of not giving up, that this is just the beginning of the fight. And just like Honorable mentioned right now, that the upcoming election, the governorship election, is the opportunity Obedient has to retire these governors, because most of the states where the impunity of rigging these elections happened because of the involvement of the governors, imposing and intimidating voters. We saw that happen in Lagos State. We saw that happen in Rivers State. We saw that happen in Benue State. We saw that happen in different states across Nigeria to intimidate voters, to ensure that their will is not carried out through the ballot. So this upcoming governorship election is an opportunity to consolidate the Obedient movement and give it the structure it requires. What is your take on it, briefly, before we wrap it up on this program?
If you love Peter Obi, obedience, the way we love Peter Obi, is to ensure that every state, that we take the seat of every state. And guess what? We can do it. We didn't lose the election. Yes, I know. I'm not even angry, because what Peter Obi has done and what the Obedient movement has done, it has exposed the deepest secret, the darkest secret of the Nigerian state. This is what it has done. The margin that Peter Obi won this election is landslide. I'll give you an example. The senatorial candidate of the FCT, the incumbent, has been there for 24 years. The gap between Senator Ireti of the Labour Party and the incumbent is like 1/1 million. This is what we must do in Lagos State and in all the other states. What we are doing, and once we do that, that is how ways of bringing Peter Obi back. This is what the strategy is about. That's how we can bring Peter Obi back, by ensuring that all the governorship seats are taken. We have to move to ground zero and ensure we close all the gaps that we have. We are learning better in politics, because more than 50% of Obedience are just first-time voters. They are first-time people coming into politics. And we did won the election. We won the election. So this is not the time to give up. This is the time to be grateful. So that is what we must do. We must ensure
I think
is won. In fact, winning the states, winning the states and the National Assembly members is even more important than the presidency at the end of the day, because imagine that all the National Assembly and the governors are obedient. What do you think has happened? Peter Obi has already won, because his ideology, his principles, and guess what? Most importantly, laws and legislations that are from the manifesto of the Labour Party. That is the change we're talking about. The change we're talking about is epitomatized by Peter Obi, but it is characterized by everybody in Nigeria. That is the change that we're talking about. So let's go and do it and ensure that we don't leave any stone unturned for the Labour Party.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Moore. Let us quickly get these opinions from these wonderful people. The North Queen, you are here. We acknowledge you. Let us quickly take, is that Henry? Is that Henry seated there? Please introduce yourself very quickly.
Yeah, it's Olisa.
Yeah, Henry, you are coming in from Warri.
It's Olisa.
Oh, Olisa. Okay, Olisa. Go ahead, Olisa. It's a pleasure having you on the program. Go ahead, let us get your opinion on what we're discussing tonight, very briefly, because we are wrapping up any moment from now.
Thank you, Chinedu. I appreciate everybody that is listening. I appreciate the convener from Abuja, Dr. Magnum. I'm in Abuja currently, so I'm hearing what is happening. So it's really nice, you know. It's really nice hearing what is happening in Abuja, how I'm putting pressure and tension on everybody. I love the tempo. I love everything. I love the strategy. But still, we need to keep our cards to our chest. You know, we need to keep our cards to our chest because they are just jittery. The position APC, they are jittery because they know that it's a stolen mandate. They know that they not win hands down. They know that everything is hooked up. They know everything. They know what they're not trying to do is now to clear the ground for them so that they can announce and do the inauguration and everything just goes smoothly for them. We're not going to allow anything to go smoothly for them. This is a rape on our democracy. We can't allow it to happen. People have spent money. People have sacrificed. People have toiled night and day, and you expect them to just look away. No. Something has to happen, and something will happen, and you must reclaim our mandate. Thank you, Chinedu.
Thank you very much. Let us quickly take this call very quickly. Hello, your name, where you're calling from, and give us you have 30 seconds to make your submission.
Good evening. This is Prince Honest Mighty calling from Enugu State.
All right, go ahead.
So for my own self, what has happened. We still believe in God that the justice will be brought to book and everybody will notice the truth. I will beg all other of my brothers and sisters and all the obedience family that they should calm down during the governorship election. Can you hear me?
Go ahead, we can.
During the governorship election and every other that remains, they should come out in mass and show that love. We have the structure and we shall show it here. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Going back again onto our team of analysts, Queen, can you quickly give us your own commentary very briefly, please, so that we wrap it up with Dr. Moore.
Okay. Like we all said, I'm sorry. Andy asked me something. Let me complete what Andy asked me. I'm so sorry, Chinedu. I was saying something while you asked. So I believe that Lagos are going to vote for Labour Party. We are already seeing it happening. They won in some parts. So we right now we are standing on the mandate of, like you said, an opportunist are now standing and flying on the wings of P2B and becoming getting this position easily and freely, and it's so saddening. Like you see someone like Tony Nwoye with all his Tony Nwoye is not a credible character to represent anybody. Victor is not a credible character. These are opportunists, and it's just so painful.
Is that
the thing is that we are tired.
Is that your opinion?
And they ask, yes. Andy asked me about something. Chinedu, I'm so sorry. That is what I'm answering.
No, I'm asking you about the whole thing that happened. What's your take?
Yes,
what is it like in Lagos?
Yes, it was a shame. It was totally, it was horrible. It was the most horrible election they have ever witnessed here. I talked to some people, I asked questions, and people are angry. People felt so bad, even though they brought the charade of telling us that we won Lagos. Of course we won, but we won with a big margin. There are places people were disenfranchised. There are places where they refused coming with what's it called, the INEC material on time, the election material on time, so that people will wear out and people will not vote. People were physically attacked. Some people were told to their face that they shouldn't come here and vote if they're not going to vote for APC. So it was horrible. It was bad. It was not democracy. It was not a free and fair election. Whatever they are doing right now is on a stolen mandate. And Nigeria has embarrassed and disgraced themselves woefully. INEC is a shame. INEC is a scam. INEC is everything you can think about. INEC is corrupt. INEC took money and they don't care about the 200 million Nigerians. They don't care. Few people seated on that seat of power trying to swallow this country. But definitely we will refuse. We are going to continue to fight because it's not going to be easy. I already knew that P2B will not win this election, not because he's not credible, not because he's not loved, not because he's not going to get the 25% vote in all the states, or half of to third of the states. No, but because I know that demons are seated in the seat of power, wicked men, wicked people are seated there. Desperados are seated there. So we already know that this is how it's going to end. So I knew it's not going to be an easy fight. So we have won. No matter how bad people feel, everybody was down. I literally cried. It was my mom that told me to stop it. In the morning, I was crying. So, but I cleaned my eyes to know that a revolution has started. People are open. We already know that we have the power. We have the willpower. It's not going to be easy. Okay. We are trying to take back a country that was stolen from us for the past 50-something years of Nigerian independence. So it's not going to be a walk in the park. It's not something that will just happen overnight. This thing will continue to happen until we take all these women out. And the revolution has started, and it's so interesting. And I'm so happy that we are alive to see it.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, gentlemen, from the from that block of our analysts. And I want to quickly make a very quick assertion that actually P2B did not lose this election. Rather, another man was declared the winner. All right, but this mandate will be reclaimed. And as for individuals who we are probably mentioned, I don't think is the opinion of BVI Channel 1 as an institution, but the fact remains that anyone that is elected by the blood and sweat of Nigerian people during this election on the wings of obedience must remain obedient, or else they will get the same treatment the old brigades got. Because this movement is a spiritual thing. And we are not stopping at anything until the Nigerian people, the frustrated Nigerians, the deprived Nigerians, the oppressed Nigerians, the suffering Nigerians are liberated from bad governance. Dr. Moore, as we're wrapping it up tonight, what's your message very quickly before we call it a night, and hope to have you back again on subsequent programs?
Very quickly, I want Nigerians and I want the obedient family and movement to understand that the status quo for Nigeria has changed, and the obedient family are the frontiers for this. You did it, you changed it, because the change that we ask in a nation is a change of her people, and this is what has happened. While we are working at reclaiming our mandates, while we are working at installing our people at the State House of Assemblies and the governorship, I needed to know that regardless of who we have there, obedient family, what is critical in governance is holding to account leadership. And so we're going to turn on this touchlight on everything, the same way we have the government, all the security agencies turn all the touchlight on P2B, looking everywhere. Of course, you know, if he had anything under his sleeves, he wouldn't have had the opportunity to bring these votes home. This is what we must do to anybody who is in governance. We must ensure that we hold them accountable. Without this, no nation can grow. The obedient movement will form a thrust that will continue to yell out, that will continue to stand out, that will continue to raise the bar, the consciousness of the people, to look and checkmate every policy and hold every policy accountable, every governor, every person in the public space of leadership accountable, beginning from the presidency, and ensuring that everything is done, every T and every dot is crossed. This is our heritage. This is our mandate. This is where we are here as obedient movement, to ensure that will give credible public leadership for our shared dividends of democracy across all levels of leadership. This is what we must do, and continue to stand in line and continue to sharpen and speak and hold to the resolve of the discipline of a new Nigeria, because a new Nigeria is not possible. A new Nigeria is already here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Moore, for joining on this program, Political Review on BVI Channel 1. We appreciate you and we hope to have you back again on a subsequent program. Thank you for joining. All right, people, that is where we'll be wrapping it up on today's program on Political Review. Thank you so much for every one of you who have joined, and to those who are just coming in. This is Political Review. We'll be right back on a live program to analyze some of the issues that are or matters arising, as we are committed to good governance. We are committed to good governance, and as the Archbishop Good Governance Ministry, I'll sit on this mandate to ensure that the suffering Nigerians are free from bad governance. And through our cooperative, we'll continue our unrelenting economic initiative to empower the ordinary people so that they will not depend on the steppings or the crumbs falling from the corrupt table of the politician. So these are part of the things we are committed to. And to those who join us on the live section and those who drop their comment, which we are unable to bring their comment to the on the front line, somebody like Andrew Walter Douglas, he made mention of something very important, which I'm going to read, then wrap it up. Anybody who had gotten to the seat through the party platform is both structure they said we don't have. And on that, we wrap it up. Thank you, every one of you who have joined us. Make our time to join us once again. Same time, anytime. We'll be dropping it as it is hot. Follow us on all our social media platforms, on our Twitter, on our Facebook, search BVI Channel 1, and on BVI Channel 1 Plus. Make sure you subscribe there, because this platform, we are waging a war because the enemies of the people are hell-bent to shut this platform down. We also have our proxy platform, BVI Channel 1 Plus. Just search it, click on subscribe. Even if you're not following it, click on subscribe so that you don't miss a thing, so that you will not say we are off the radar, because they're trying everything possible to shut this platform down. But we'll not let that happen. But you can help us to make sure that we all are part of this revolution and on this mandate. Bye-bye for now. Stay connected, stay glued, and keep watching. I'm Lieutenant Peters, signing out from here. May God bless you all. I will always wish you a safe night, and at all times, stay safe. Good night.